For 3 years, she called herself family. She cooked his meals, managed his medications, and told everyone she loved him like a father. He was 81, blind from diabetes, and completely dependent on her honesty. He didn't know his late wife had been keeping a diary, one that would outlive her by 5 years and end up in Judge Judy's hands. What happened in that courtroom became one of the most shared moments in Judge Judy history, passed around online with millions of views because nobody expected a 5-year-old diary to be the thing that finally caught her. Before we get into exactly what that diary revealed, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love seeing where my viewers are joining in from around the world. And hit that subscribe button, because what unfolds in this courtroom is a masterclass in how the truth eventually finds its way out, no matter how carefully it's been buried. This is the kind of justice that restores your faith in the system. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. Arthur Kowalski was 81 years old, a retired machinist who had lost his sight to diabetic retinopathy 6 years earlier. His wife Helen had passed away 5 years ago after 49 years of marriage. Since then, Arthur had relied on a series of in-home caregivers arranged through an agency, the most recent being Denise Marsh, who had been with him for 3 years. Arthur's niece, his only living relative, grew suspicious when she noticed his retirement account balance had dropped by nearly $60,000 over 18 months. Mr. Kowalski, you're telling this court you had no idea your account balance had changed so dramatically? Your Honor, I can't see the statements anymore. Denise read them to me. She told me the numbers every month. I trusted what she told me because I had no way to check. Denise stepped in immediately, calm and warm, her tone almost reassuring. Your Honor, if I may, I understand how this looks from the outside, but I've dedicated 3 years of my life to this man. I gave up other clients to be available for Arthur around the clock. I have every receipt organized by month. I welcome this review because I know exactly where every dollar went. She sat at the defendant's table with the ease of someone who had nothing to fear, dressed professionally, a binder of receipts organized with color-coded tabs sitting in front of her, her voice measured rather than defensive. Caregiving for an elderly, blind man isn't cheap. Grocery delivery services charge premiums. His medications aren't fully covered by insurance. And yes, I did authorize some home repairs, a walk-in shower conversion for his safety, a ramp for his back door. I made those decisions because Arthur trusted my judgment, and frankly, because I love him. I have contractor invoices for every project. Anyone can look at this binder and see there's nothing to hide. That's a very organized binder, Miss Marsh. Let's make sure it matches the bank's records just as neatly. Please, I'd welcome that, Your Honor. I've been waiting 3 years for someone to actually ask. What Denise didn't know was that Arthur's niece, while cleaning out an old nightstand drawer during a recent visit, had found something Helen Kowalski had kept hidden for years before her death, a journal documenting the family's finances, account numbers, and a detailed inventory of Arthur's assets, written specifically in case Arthur ever needs someone to check the numbers for him. Aunt Helen was meticulous, the niece said, holding the worn journal carefully. She knew Uncle Arthur was losing his sight even before she passed. She wrote everything down, every account, every asset, because she was afraid exactly this would happen to him someday. Judge Judy read from the yellowed pages, her voice steady. Retirement account balance as of March 2021, $187,400. Arthur must never sign anything without someone reading it fully aloud twice. She looked up sharply. Miss Marsh, according to this journal from 2021, Mr. Kowalski's retirement balance was $187,400. Bank records show it currently sits at $61,900. That's a difference of $125,500, far more than the $60,000 his niece initially flagged. For the first time, a small crack appeared, a slight pause before Denise recovered. Your Honor, that journal is years old. Markets fluctuate and legitimate expenses add up over time. I don't think a 5-year-old notebook should be treated more reliable than actual invoices sitting in front of you. Let's go through those invoices, Miss Marsh, one by one. Before we go through those receipts line by line, and trust me, what turns up is going to change how you see this entire case, hit that subscribe button now if you haven't already, because right now, it's still genuinely unclear who's telling the truth, and what Judge Judy finds next is going to answer that completely. The clerk had spent the overnight recess cross-referencing Denise's submitted receipts against Arthur's bank statements. Miss Marsh, of the 42 receipts you submitted, 31 match legitimate withdrawals for groceries, medication, and utilities. That part of your record is genuinely solid, but there are 11 separate cash withdrawals totaling $98,000 for which you have provided no receipts at all. Where did that money go? Denise's voice tightened, though she was still trying to hold steady. Some of those were cash payments to contractors who don't issue formal invoices. That's common in home repair work, Your Honor. I know it doesn't look ideal on paper, but I was managing his life, not running a business audit. Mr. Kowalski, do you recall authorizing $98,000 in home repairs? No, Your Honor, I said firmly. My house hasn't had any major work done since Helen passed. I would remember approving something that large. Denise never asked me about repairs that expensive. The gallery stirred, gasps and murmuring rippling through the courtroom. Denise looked straight ahead, unable to look at him. In the back of the gallery, a man had been sitting rigid the entire hearing, his hands gripping his knees, his jaw clenched. He hadn't planned to speak, but something in Arthur's voice had cracked something open in him he'd buried for 2 years. Slowly, he rose to his feet, his hands visibly trembling. Your Honor, may I speak? Go ahead, sir. State your name. Gerald Osai. His voice was unsteady, tight with restrained anger. Denise Marsh cared for my mother for 2 years before she passed. After Mom died, we found nearly $40,000 unaccounted for. We told ourselves it was just the cost of caregiving because we didn't want to believe someone Mom trusted like a daughter could have lied to her. I've carried that doubt for 2 years. I never thought I'd hear it confirmed like this. The courtroom erupted in low gasps and murmuring. Several spectators shifted in their seats, whispering to one another. An elderly woman in the gallery covered her mouth with her hand. Denise stared straight ahead, unable to look at him. Approach the stand, Mr. Osai. With the evidence mounting against her, Denise made one final appeal, and for a moment, it seemed to land. Her voice broke, genuinely emotional now. Your Honor, please, whatever the numbers say, I need you to understand something. I didn't see Arthur as a client. When my own father passed, Arthur was the one who sat with me. He taught me how to change a tire. He walked me through my divorce. I know how this looks, but I loved him like family. I still do. Maybe I made bad decisions about the money, maybe I got sloppy or careless, but I never once sat down and planned to steal from him. You have to believe there's a difference. A long pause settled over the room. Arthur's expression softened slightly, uncertain. A few spectators exchanged sympathetic glances. Even Judge Judy sat quietly for a moment, studying Denise carefully. The courtroom held its breath, unsure which way this would go. Miss Marsh, I don't doubt that some part of what you're describing was real. Genuine affection and financial betrayal aren't mutually exclusive. In fact, in my experience, they very often travel together. That's what makes this kind of case so damaging. Love doesn't erase $125,000 in missing funds. Let's finish going through the numbers. Denise's composure collapsed. She looked down, realizing the appeal hadn't changed the outcome. Miss Marsh, you were entrusted with the financial well-being of a blind, elderly widower who had no way to verify what you told him. Whatever affection existed between you, you exploited that dependency systematically over 3 years, fabricating expenses and diverting nearly $100,000 for your own benefit, while calling yourself family. This is not a billing dispute. This is elder financial abuse and fraud. Judgment for the plaintiff, Mr. Arthur Kowalski, in the amount of $98,000 for unaccounted withdrawals, plus $12,000 in damages for the emotional and financial harm caused by this deliberate breach of trust. Total judgment $110,000, payable immediately. I am also ordering a full forensic audit of Denise's caregiving history through her agency and referring this case, along with Mr. Osai's testimony, to the district attorney's office for a full fraud investigation. The gavel struck. The gallery broke into applause. The bailiff called for order. Gerald reached over and gripped Arthur's shoulder gently. Somewhere in the crowd, a woman whispered to the person beside her, "I'm calling the agency that placed my father's caregiver tonight. This can't be the only case." The bailiff nodded toward the bench. "About time someone caught her, Your Honor." Arthur, visibly moved, reached for his niece's hand as she held Helen's journal. "Your aunt always did think of everything," he said quietly, "even when she wasn't here anymore." Denise Marsh's caregiving license was suspended pending investigation. Within weeks, the district attorney's office connected her to 6 additional elderly clients across 2 counties, with combined unaccounted withdrawals exceeding $340,000. Arthur Kowalski moved in with his niece's family the following month. He kept Helen's journal on his nightstand, and though he could no longer read it himself, he asked his niece to read a page aloud to him every Sunday evening, a small ritual that kept his late wife's careful voice present in his life. "Helen always said she'd take care of me, even when she couldn't be here anymore," he reflected. "I suppose she found a way to keep that promise." Court is adjourned. Do you think this verdict was fair? Should caregiving agencies be held legally responsible when they fail to properly vet the people they place in vulnerable people's homes? Let me know in the comments what you think. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button because next week another case is going to shock you even more.